Hey guys, it's Lydia here. For today's stretch, I'm going to be doing a 20-minute deep stretch. So I've done a few other deep stretches on my channel, and basically I just really like these because basically what we're doing is we're holding the stretch for a lot longer than we normally would. So most of these stretches I'm going to be holding it for like a minute, and I just feel like this is really nice. Like, you don't have to do these stretches every single day, but every now and then when your muscles are really sore, you just really want a nice deep stretch, you can do this, and it's really nice because you just get a chance to sit down into the stretch, really feel it, and you don't have to like rush and feel like you have to go to the next stretch super fast. So this is going to be 20 minutes. Each stretch, like I said, is about a minute long. Some are shorter. But yeah, so without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, so for the first stretch, just go over your toe like this, pushing your heel and your ankle forward, and you're going to feel a stretch along the top of your foot, on your ankle, maybe a little bit into your shin. This is very simple, but I feel like stretches like this often get neglected, so it's very important to stretch out your feet. Alrighty, and then I just want you to do some circles with that ankle now. Kind of roll it out after we did that pretty deep stretch. And then do the other foot. Feel that nice stretch. This is so nice after you've done like a run or something and your shins are hurting. It's just so nice to kind of stretch out that whole area. It doesn't get too high on your shin, but it definitely stretches out your ankle. Now roll out your foot. Alrighty, so now we're just going to do some hip circles. This is more to open up and warm up your body. So we're not going to do this for too long, but I just like this because it opens up your hips before we really dive in and stretch them really intensely. Alright, so for this next stretch, go into a downward dog. So then in your downward dog, you can just pedal out your feet, and you're going to feel a stretch in your hamstrings as well as your calves. We're just slowly going up your body, starting with your feet, and then going now to your legs. Remember, we're going to be holding this for quite a while, so don't feel like you have to push yourself super far. And you don't even have to pedal, you can just hold it here and slowly bring your heels down lower. Alrighty, so then I want you to step one of your legs forward and then reach over top of it and get an even deeper stretch in your hamstring. And while you're doing this, I also want you to push this back leg, that heel, towards the ground as well. You're going to feel a stretch in that calf as well. Just breathe and reach over your leg. And all these I want you to take nice deep breaths, and that's going to help you to relax more and get into the stretch better. Alrighty, so then bend that back or that front leg, and then you're going to go into a lunge, and if you want to, you can put your elbows on the ground to get an even deeper stretch. You can always start with your hands, and then as you keep going, if you feel more comfortable, then you can drop down to your elbows, because we have a lot of time here, so don't feel like you have to rush into it. Alrighty, so then do both those stretches on the other leg, starting with that hamstring stretch. Alrighty, and then go into your lunge, and then if you want to, you can place your elbows on the ground. You could also place your back knee on the ground if it's getting a little hard for you to keep up. So if being up here is a little bit hard, just place your knee on the ground if that's more comfortable. Alrighty, so next we're going to go into a frog pose. So bend both your legs like this, and you're just going to sit kind of on top of them. And then if you want to, you can lean forward or not. Just feel a nice stretch in your inner thighs. You can always kind of sway back and forth. Feel the best stretch. Alrighty, so next we're going to go into a pigeon pose. And the first thing we're going to do in this is just reach back and grab your back leg. You're going to feel a stretch in your quads, your back thigh. gently release that leg. Next, we're going to stretch out our back a bit. So I want you to stand up really tall in your pigeon and arch back as far as you can. For some of you, this just might be sitting up straight. For others, you might be able to go farther back. It doesn't really matter, just as long as you feel a nice stretch. But I don't want you pushing yourself super hard that you feel any pain. So just, if you feel a stretch, that's good. Just stay there. Don't try to push yourself super far, because we want to just be careful, stay safe, and not cause injury. Alrighty, and then the final stretch in this pigeon pose, I just want you to reach forward and you're going to feel a even deeper stretch in your glutes. Alrighty, so now I just want you to do all those stretches on the other leg, starting with reaching back, grabbing your back leg. So this side is definitely a lot tighter for me. When you get to a stretch that's especially uncomfortable or more tight, just make sure to take nice deep breaths so that way you can relax your muscles and sink into the stretch more. Alrighty, so now arch back. And finally, reach forward. I don't know if you could tell, but pigeon poses are probably one of my favorite stretches. And it's hard because whenever I'm planning out a stretching routine, oftentimes I go back to just my favorites like lunges and pigeon poses and butterfly flies. So I'm trying to make it more unique, but pigeon poses are definitely just one of my favorites because they're probably like the best stretch for stretching out your glutes. And they're just so relaxing. Like you can just relax into it and breathe and you literally don't have to do anything. So it's really, really nice. Alrighty, so next, come onto your hands and knees, and we're going to arch back as far as you can and contract. Alrighty, so then for this next stretch, come against a wall, and you're going to put your feet on the wall, like this, and then just arch back as far as you can from there. If this is getting really uncomfortable and you feel like you need to come out of it sooner, that's completely fine, especially since we are holding it for quite a long time, and this is definitely a more deep stretch. So if you need to come out of it and go into a child's pose, you can do that. But now, let's come out of that pose, and then I'm going to quickly do a child's pose just because I feel like it's really hard for me to just go from one back stretch to another, so I really like to just take a little bit of time in a child's pose. Okay, so for the next stretch, either you can do a this stretch, a camel, or go up into a bridge. I'm going to do a bridge, and we aren't going to hold this for a whole minute. It's going to be more like 30 seconds. So just pick which one you prefer, and we're just going to hold it. Alrighty, come out of your bridge or your camel. For the next stretch, this is one of my favorites. You're just going to sit down, clasp your hands together, and we're just going to do a big circle with our arms. So reach up and around, and then go the other way. Feel it. Really nice stretch in your back. This feels so, so good. Alrighty. For the final stretches, I'm just going to do some basic upper body stretches, starting with the shoulder stretch. Alrighty, and then go to a tricep stretch. Stretches like these are often neglected, so even though I'm not holding it for super long, I did want to add them into the end of this video. Alrighty, and then finally grab the palm of your hand, and we're going to go into a bicep stretch. So push your elbow, your bicep up towards the ceiling, and you're going to feel a stretch there, especially if it's sore. switch sides, starting with that shoulder stretch. Kind of move it around a bit if you want to find where the stretch is really at. Alrighty, and then a tricep. You can always reach over a little bit more. Get a stretch in your lats as well. Alrighty, and then finally bicep. And relax. And that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This was definitely a really good stretching routine, and even though it was only 20 minutes long, I feel like it was nice. Really did stretch out, like every muscle got it. And since we held it for a long time, it really was like a deep stretch, so you felt like you were really getting a stretch and not just like barely stretching one muscle and then jumping to the next. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and tell me in the comments below what workout you'd like me to do next. This is the last workout of my January workout challenge, so if you wanted to do this challenge but you didn't realize I was doing it, I will link the whole playlist on the screen and you can do it for the month of February or something if you want to do that. But that's it for today's workout or stretching routine. I will see you next time for another workout. Bye guys!